Same as before, here's my 2023 one, ultra condensed. Picture film, just enough families run games, it seems. Borderlands 3 sequel, technically I played this in 2015, but still, it's sure it's a filler game while Borderlands 3 was made, but it felt really lazy. Writing wasn't that good, jokes didn't hit, Zabazon was super forgettable and had zero presence, not even Handsome Jack salvaged it. Destiny 2 Last Light. The following the literal chunks of the story was a stupid idea because nobody will now know the lead up or the connection to the characters because you can't experience it. Also, I'm super dirty because years back ago I bought Destiny 2 and all of its expansions, including pre-ordering Forsaken, but because they've also all the stuff I paid for, I never got to play it, so basically I'm not going to consider it a good game because of that. Doom 3, The Shotgun. Similar one, the issue is that it's aged really poorly. If you max Lisa's backstab, lots of fights become stupid easy. You can basically one-shot the second phase of the final boss with one backstab. Sonic Glass World, this is the first Sonic game I've actively hated. The writing, the villains, the gameplay is bad around galaxy, the controls don't feel right, the music's okay, but like 9 out of 10 times Sonic music's always good. Right, so I literally have nothing to say other than I just can't get into it. I can't get into it because of the gameplay. It doesn't jam with me. It doesn't jam with me. Baldur's Gate 3 jams with me because it's turn-based. I like that. It gives me chances to think. I know you can pause in Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, but it still feels really clunky. Maybe it's the system it's running on. What is it, Advanced D&D? Maybe I just don't like Advanced D&D. That could be it. I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna keep trying, but like, I'm just struggling to get into it. Okay, how can Helldivers 2 be on the list here when it was on the best of list? Well, it's because they keep shooting themselves in the foot. The first one was the PlayStation Network account requirement. Now, granted, this wasn't entirely the developer's fault. It's Sony's. Sure. But the thing is, when they dropped the requirement, and you've heard me mention it, then this means that it's still in here. It means that the game is still not available to over 160 countries because PSN's not available on there, despite dropping the requirement of PSN needed to be on there. This means people who bought the game prior in those countries cannot invite their friends to play with them because they can't get the game. It's stupid. The second one was their obsession with nerfing stuff. The developers seem to always want to nerf weapons, removing the fun for everything, when arguably they should be making the enemies tougher on harder difficulties. Or better yet, add mutations or enemies resistant to the weapons, encouraging a more varied team loadout. Sure, online game nerfs happen all the time, but here's the big problem with this one. It's a PvE game, where everything you get is shared among the team, so there is no harm in a min-maxer. You're all fighting this together. The only thing you're affecting is the wider war. And for 2, they admitted that they were nerfing things too much, and then continued to nerf stuff. It's like a carjacker saying they're going straight while he's carjacking somebody. Now granted, they did improve after a little bit, but they've gone right back to it with this space station, which is basically just a glorified stratagem. It's a complete disappointment. They're going between we are done for to we are so back on basically every major patch. Okay, let's make something clear. Mass Effect 3 is a fantastic game. It is a great game. It is so much fun. However, I cannot deny how much of a sheer disappointment the ending was. Yeah, okay, people have been talking about it since the game came out all those years ago, but yeah, no, the ending is stupid. The ending is so stupid. There is no winning regardless on if you are a paragon, a renegade, or a neutral. The catalyst rips open huge plot holes such as your solution isn't working. Pick one of the solutions, as opposed to say a paragon saying, well look, I got the Quarian and the Geth to play along. Why can't us and the Reapers play along? On top of that, if you really like your Shepherd and want him to survive, you can only do so through the destroy ending, which some people might not want to do. Maybe they want Shepherd to be like the elusive man, but actually not under the control of the Reapers. Maybe they want their Shepherd to become a synthetic organic hybrid like everyone else, so that they can spend time with their love interest. The thing is, the extended cut did nothing. They would have had to have redone the entire ending. They would have had to have changed how the endings are, and there was just no way that they or EA were gonna let that happen. So we have arguably the worst ending to a fantastic game that you could have. And that is why Mass Effect 3 is disappointing. Not even that. Mass Effect 3 isn't on this disappointing list. Mass Effect 3's endings are on the disappointing list. I'm not going to put on the filter here because this is disappointing, so I'm just gonna, if people were expecting it, and this is part of the course, I'm disappointing you. Now this is akin to basically Summoner 1. The game's good. It's aged terribly. It's aged really badly. The gunplay is just your typical, like, early Gears of War. The melee combat is monotonous with very little variety. Half the time, I don't even know which weapon's more effective. You can mostly go through by just meleeing and just using the little power enhancer thing. I understand being a grimdark and such, but there is no vibrance in the scenery. Space Marine 2 had vibrance. This one doesn't. Oh yeah, and going back to the whole melee combat thing, it's basically the only way you can get through the game. All your guns kind of suck, and eventually everything becomes such big bullet sponges, you're better off just meleeing anyway. I'm just saying, if I wanted to do that, I'd play an Onimusha game or something like that. Let me use my guns, damn it. Thankfully, the story's okay. The story's fine. I mean, the story's not massively complex in 2 either, so yeah, no, the story's fine. This is okay. I don't mind this. Okay, so how come I put Sonic Generations on here when it's part of Shadow Generations, which I said is the best Sonic game of all time? It's because of Shadow Generations that Sonic Generations is a disappointment. Specifically, there's been no improvements to Sonic Generations. It's all the same. They've made no new additions to the game. They've added no changes such as, oh, I don't know, the really bad final boss fight. All they did was a few script rewrites, and that was it. I guess in a way it's a good thing because it means they could focus all their energy on Shadow Generations, but still, the fact that this is with Shadow Generations, arguably the best 3D Sonic game of all time, it really does, and I don't tend to use this term casually in conversation or in videos, but it makes Sonic Generations kind of mid.
Oh, I forgot to record the outro. I guess this adds to the disappointment. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed and have a happy new year.